welcome back. We are learning the DOM, and as I said in the previous lecture, we need to manipulate the DOM elements. But what if there are a lot of elements present in the DOM? And of course, it is going to be the case. The solution to that is to find the element which we want to manipulate. But how are we going to do this? So we will get into it, but first of all, let us see the agenda. We will begin with the list of ways to find the elements from the DOM. Then we will learn about each way with an example. And at the end, there is an assignment for you guys. So let us start with today's concept. Now, DOM provides these ways to find an element to manipulate. Finding HTML elements by ID, finding HTML elements by tag name, finding HTML elements by class name, finding HTML elements by CSS selectors, finding HTML elements by HTML object collections. So what are we waiting for? Let us get started with our first method. Finding HTML elements by ID. So this is the easiest way to find an HTML element in the DOM. And it is by using the element ID. Let us see an example and understand it. This program helps you to understand how the getElementById method works. In the DOM, there is an element P which has the ID intro. We stored the element in the myElement variable with the help of getElementById method. Then there is another P tag with demo ID on which we are going to apply the property innerHTML to get the content of myElement variable which has hello world. Let us save the file and see the output on the browser, which is hello world. The text from the intro paragraph is hello world. Great, so we got the correct output. That means we found the right element. Now let us see how the next way works, which is finding HTML elements by tag name. This way we'll find the elements by their tag name. Let us see an example and understand. In this example, we have created 3 P elements and we are storing the collection of elements in the variable element. After that, we are changing the content of the P element having demo. Now, let us save the file and see the output, which is finding HTML elements by tag name. So this example demonstrates the getElementByTagName method. The text in the first paragraph, index 0, is finding HTML elements by tag name. The index 0 has the P element having content finding HTML elements by tag name. Now let us see the next method to find the element, which is finding HTML elements by class name. So this method finds the element by their class name. Let us directly jump into the code. In this example, there are some P elements with the same class intro. We are storing the collection of them in X variable, and then we are going to take the P element with demo ID and applying the inner HTML property to it. The index 0 would be P element having content hello world. So let us see the output on the browser, which is finding HTML elements by class name. Hello world. This example demonstrates the getElementByClassName method. The first paragraph, index 0 with class equal to intro, is hello world. All the P elements are displayed on the screen and the last line has the content of the P element with 0 index, which we got using getElementsByClassName. Finding HTML elements by CSS selectors. Now, if you want to find all the HTML elements that match a specified CSS selector, ID, class names, types, attributes, values of attributes, etc., use the query selector all method. Now, let us jump into the code. This example returns a list of all P elements with class equal to intro. We are using query selector all method for getting the class name of a specific element. And let us see the output, which is finding HTML elements by query selector. Hello world. This example demonstrates the query selector all method. The first paragraph, index 0 with class equal to intro, is hello world. In this last line of the output, the method is returning the content of the P element having the class intro and index 0. Finding HTML elements by HTML object collections. So we can also find the HTML elements by finding the collection of objects. Let us see the code for doing that. In this code, a form is present having form1 ID, and in the form2, input fields and one button are given, and we already have given values to them. Then with the help of document.forms, we are storing the form values into X variable. After that, we are displaying the values of the form with the for loop. Now let us see the output, which is, so as I said earlier, the values are already given, and after submitting the values, they are displayed in the browser. As we are not connecting to the server, we have displayed the output here after submitting. So these are the methods to find the elements on the DOM if we want to manipulate them. And here is a small assignment for you. Take the ID of this element and display the output. Go through each example again for a better understanding. And we will meet very soon in the next lecture. Till then, please stay connected and stay safe. Bye.